Mark Abrams here on January 19th. Just a couple quick sports thoughts. And as you can see, you got my pick on the bomb for tonight's national championship game between Miami and Indiana. And I'll get into that in a minute. But very surprising development this morning in the National Football League. The Buffalo Bills fire coach Sean McDermott. Obviously, his inability to, I guess the phrase is, isn't able to get over the hump over the last 5 6 years. He's had great teams and some key playoff losses. When you have winning coaches like McDermott, Harbaugh, who just inked with the Giants, Mike Tomlin, all getting their walking papers pretty much. I think Tomlin was more his own volition, but all sort of on the market after these seasons, playoff quality Super Bowl winning coaches, McDermott notwithstanding. But it's very, very interesting. This is you got to win the Super Bowl or bust kind of thing, and even that doesn't ensure you. See Doug Peterson a few years ago with the Philadelphia Eagles after he had a one bad year, 2 years after winning the Super Bowl, and he was out of there. So, it's just I don't know. It's a lot different now, sports in 2026 than it was in the 80s, 90s, maybe even early 2000s, where coaches had security, players had security, and players stayed in one spot more. Now with all the moving parts, they didn't do Josh Allen any favors by, Brandon Cooks, good wide receiver. They picked him off the street a couple weeks before the season was over. I mean, how do you expect the one that for what he's done with the receivers that he hasn't had, since Stephon Diggs the last couple of years? Shakir has become a real good receiver. Keon Coleman, who caught a touchdown on Saturday, has not really worked out so far as a high draft pick out of Florida State. So it's one of these win now things. They had a lot of injuries, did the Buffalo Bills, and they were winning for a lot of that game on Saturday, so I don't know if it's the way they lost the game, but they got hosed on some referee calls late as well. So I don't know. I mean, I can't say that Sean McDermott, they gave him, a lot of years, I think like 8 9 years, but did they give him a fair shake after what happened on Saturday? Both with Allen, who was banged up. You can tell he's banged up. He's just a warrior, that guy. And the lack of talent, Kincaid, those guys are good players. I mentioned Shaquille, Keon Coleman, Brandon Cooks, good receiver, but they just they don't have a home run guy. And you have a guy like Josh Allen, who, for my money, has got the best arm in the National Football League to go deep, to throw some deep patterns. Shakir's a good underneath guy who got, is able to get some yak yardage. He's a real shifty player as well. Also, with the Final Four set in the NFL, Denver, as we mentioned, defeated the Bills on Saturday, taking on the New England Patriots. Denver losing Bo Nix to a broken bone in his ankle. Tough break for the second-year quarterback out of Oregon via Auburn. They're going to go with Jarrett Stidham. Jarrett Stidham at one point was the guy maybe to replace Tom Brady, and didn't work out. Played a little bit with the Raiders. Jarrett Stidham, who he could sling it. I mean, he played at Auburn. He could really chuck the ball around, but with the very lack of experience walking into this situation, it would be an unbelievable story, even though they're at home, to beat the New England Patriots, who have Drake May, who's rolling on all cylinders. Didn't play that great yesterday, but that team is, they're playing terrific football. They forced C.J. Stroud into 4 first-half interceptions. And after his rookie year, he's just been a very ordinary quarterback, C.J. Stroud. So I would imagine they'll give him at least one more year to see if he can get back to where he was as a rookie and even get better on that. But C.J. Stroud has not really progressed in the last couple of years. It's that defense who they played very well at times yesterday as well. I believe they had 5 sacks, 3 by Will Anderson, who's one of the best edge rushers in the game, especially outside of Myles Garrett. So we'll be making picks later in the week, and also in the National Football Conference, the Chicago Bears with that thrilling victory. The Los Angeles Rams, just a thrilling victory over the Chicago Bears at Soldier Field on Sunday night. Caleb Williams, I'll tell you what, that play that he made is one of the all-time great plays. He was, the fact it was fourth down, they needed the touchdown there. He was going backwards and when he threw that ball and was able to throw a perfect dime to Cole Kmet to tie the game. But then he threw the big interception late in overtime. The Rams get the ball. They go downfield. They get the 46-yard field, I believe it was, by Mevis. And they're heading to Seattle to take on the Seattle Seahawks, who are the hottest team in the NFL, especially at home. They destroyed the San Francisco 49ers on Saturday. I like Seattle a lot in that game. San Francisco without no receivers. Ayuk the whole year. Kittle goes down. Ricky Pearsall out. There's always so much Brock Purdy can do. He's a system quarterback. He's not a lot of times not going to will a team to win like Josh Allen can do. He's a good quarterback, Brock Purdy. Don't get me wrong, but he's going to need some players around. But when you have your best players outside Christian McCaffrey not in the lineup, it's going to be tough, especially going to probably the best home field in the NFL up in Seattle. And the tone was set on the first play of the game. Racine Shaheed returns the opening kickoff, and it was blowout city from there. So Seattle against the Rams, two good games. I don't care that there's a 5 next to the Rams name as their seed. They may have been the best team in the NFC throughout the year. Maybe second to Seattle at worst. When you have a guy like Stafford who has going to win the MVP, and they got the defense hasn't played too well the last 6-7 games, but they have playmakers on defense, guys who can rush the passer as well. And then you got the 2 great receivers who really didn't do much yesterday. And Nakua made that big catch late in overtime to help set up the field goal. Nakua and Devontae Adams, you got those 2 guys on the outside. What's his name? Matthew Stafford has made guys like Cody Parkinson, who led the NFL in all tight ends and touchdowns this year, and Higbee still making plays for them. A couple of their young receivers, making key spots as well. And Kyron Williams and Blake Corum handling the running back duties very well. So it's going to be a good game. Like I said, I'll be back later in the week to make a pick. So like I said, a lot going on in the NFL, a lot of the coaches searches going on. I think don't count if you count the Kevin Stefanski and John Harbaugh hires as that were open, 10 NFL coaches lost their jobs this year. That's almost a third of the league. It's crazy. It's one of these. If you don't win the Super Bowl yesterday, you're in trouble. I mean, here in Philadelphia, I listen to fans call these talk shows. Wanting Sirianni gone all the time. The guy's got the fifth best winning percentage in the history of the NFL, and fans want him gone. So I mean, it's crazy the way I think social media and the internet have something to do with it, because there's more fan chatter going around. And but we have our Final 4 in the NFL. We have our Final 2 playing tonight. Excuse me, at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens, Florida, just outside of Miami. It's actually in between Miami and Fort Lauderdale. I passed stadium many times being down there. The Indiana Hoosiers, the number 1 ranked team in the country, with the Heisman Trophy winner Fernando Mendoza, taking on the Miami Hurricanes with Carson Beck. I just saw that quote the other day. Someone asked Carson Beck if he went to school the other day. He said he graduated 2 years ago. In terms of guys playing 4, 5, 6 years in transfer portals, I guess they don't go to school. I didn't know that. I thought maybe they went to graduate school if they graduated. I have no idea how that stuff all works. If he's at the University of Miami and just playing football, there's something wrong with that. And we can go on. Maybe one day we're going to do a podcast. I'll get someone who's involved in college football or college athletics. This portal thing is an absolute joke. That's another story for another day. And speaking of the portal, Fernando Mendoza, who transferred in from Cal, going to try to pull the unthinkable. If I would have told you a year ago, even 2 years ago, whatever, Miami could be in the national championship game. Obviously, they've been a power for the better part of 40 years. The Indiana Hoosiers. I mean, the only time they were half decent in my lifetime, they had Anthony Thompson playing running back, who later played for the Arizona. I think they were the Phoenix Cardinals when he played. That's how long ago it was. But it should be a great game. I'm taking the Hurricanes plus 7.5 points. I don't know if they win the game. Maybe it's a field goal late. A lot of these games now, especially in the NFL, they're coming. These NFL playoffs have been unbelievable. coming down to playoffs, coming down to field goals and a play here. I think the key though this whole game is it's one of those irresistible force and immovable objects. Is the Indiana offensive line, which was rated the number one offensive line in the country. Can they keep Mesidor and Ruben Bain and the rest of Miami Hurricanes off of their quarterback? Maybe open up some holes for Hamby and the running backs. Maybe they'll make some plays on offense. I think Miami's going to make some plays on offense as well. So can't wait for this game tonight. I have no pick on who's going to win the game. I'll take the points, though, and the Miami Hurricanes at home. So, everyone, hope you enjoyed this little football. So, little football, little synopsis here for the past weekend and the preview of tonight's game. And we'll be back hopefully tomorrow. We'll go over the national championship game. Have a good night.